Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Blu-ray Hunter. I'm the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and I've got a really fun show for you guys. I'm gonna be giving you guys my uh I have 20 movies here. 17 of them are Blu-rays and 3 of them are 4Ks. These are movies I have seen. I know for a fact that they're good, and I think I've seen them all on the Blu-ray or 4K. So I can pretty much guarantee you that I like them for the Criterion. Now, I know the Criterion sale is coming up, and hopefully this will be up on Sunday. The Criterion sale happens on Monday. That's that's the start of a really big month of a lot of people picking out as many movies as they can. It's also close to like Black Friday and other stuff. So if you can't get a bunch of stuff, that's understandable. That's a-okay. But I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on what to get. And a lot of these are um not as talked about, I think. There's some that's probably talked about. I didn't do stuff like Seven Samurai or Night of the Living Dead or things like that that like everybody talks about. But I made sure that like every single one of these movies is something I've seen already. And so I can tell you firsthand that these are pretty good movies. Some I've probably mentioned in other videos because Criterion have done these videos. So anyway, starting off, these are not in alphabetical order, even though this one probably is the first one that would be alphabetical order. It is Barry Lyndon. This is it's a Stanley Kubrick, and this is probably other than like I don't know. This is probably like my fifth favorite Stanley Kubrick movie, maybe. So I'm trying to think of like I know I really do like The Shining is like number one, number two is like Clockwork Orange. They sometimes flip-flop. And then there's a few others like Full Metal Jacket and stuff like that. I think this is about fourth or fifth favorite on there. Maybe I'll do a ranking of my favorite Stanley Kubrick movies that I either own or have already seen. So that's number one. All right, let me move this over. So if you haven't seen the movie, basically it's a period piece. It's amazingly shot. I know Paul would have this on a recommendation video because he absolutely loves this movie. We're eventually going to do it for Criterion Watch. We just haven't got to it yet, I'm sure. Plus, Paul likes to be there, in the room, and this is 185 minutes. So if you're not up for like a long movie, then this would not be your cup of tea. Next is another movie. God, this does feel like well, I mean, whatever. First couple are whatever. Chilly Scenes of Winter. This is actually really good considering it's coming close to winter, and I would definitely recommend this. This was a blind buy. I just knew that Griffin Dunn was in it, and I didn't know he actually produced it as well. And after I watched the movie, I watched the special features, which are pretty amazing. But basically, this is a drama comedy, a dramedy about a guy and his sort of like obsession with this woman who's been having issues with her husband. So there's, times where they kind of mess around. And I'm not going to give you the ending, but there's actually supposedly two endings, and the other ending, like the alternate ending, is on here, and I haven't seen it yet. I like the ending that they have. It feels very indie, but a lot of people say they prefer the other one. So there you go. Next is a movie that I had seen before I bought it on Criterion. And then I watched it on Criterion. I this movie so good. Defending Your Life. I'm planning to buy, spoiler alert for later buys or whatever. I'm planning to buy Lost in America, which is also by Albert Brooks, and his Criterion. But this movie is so fucking good. I am a Christian, so it's very weird and funny sometimes when I watch movies that normally I would disagree with, like, I guess, my ideologies, but I was like, wow, that could be exactly what happens. I don't know. I don't know what happens. I like because it's so funny. We get born into this crazy world that we didn't even, know existed. So at the afterlife is such a funny concept to me in a way, like just knowing what's gonna be in the afterlife. Like how crazy is it? Like, I mean, there's another movie later that's about the afterlife that I think is even better than this movie. Once again, this isn't a ranking or anything. This isn't like my top 20 or anything. This is just literally a recommendation video for you guys. And next is the Alfred Hitchcock movie that Alfred Hitchcock never made, starring Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn and Charade. I saw this movie earlier this year and I fucking loved it. This movie is so freaking amazing. I'm probably gonna say that about a lot of these movies because, like, when I say these are like my recommendations, these are because I really enjoyed them, or whatnot. So, I'm eventually gonna do this on Criterion Watch, but I just haven't had the opportunity yet. So, but I really, really love it, and it's so, so good. You should check this out if you haven't yet. It's like, you see these spiral stuff. It kind of like it seems like something like Vertigo or something, but it's a spy thriller and you don't know what's going on. It's so good. Next is a Humphrey Bogart movie. Can't have this without a Humphrey Bogart movie, and that's In a Lonely Place. This was the first movie I did for Criterion Watch for season two, I think it was. Yeah. So when I was out in LA, Paul and I watched this movie. It's about a screenwriter who ends up kind of being involved in a murder, and it's a murder mystery noir kind of film with Bogart, and Bogart is Bogey, as a lot of people call him, is dealing with a lot of stuff going on, and he's in love with this girl that he just like met, which is I see as a very big thing in the early like 40s and 50s and whatnot. They had movies where the people just met the people and then all of a sudden they fell in love and they're like in a relationship. And nowadays, like you have movies that are a little bit more realistic and stuff with that. But this was just a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. And I would definitely recommend it. This is Paul's favorite movie, and I watched this originally on Cri so this is one I haven't seen on Blu-ray yet. But I watched it on the Criterion channel. And I was like, this really is a good movie because he did this for Criterion Watch when he was in Virginia and I was in LA, so I couldn't make it for it. I don't think I had the Criterion channel at that particular time, so I couldn't join him for it. But he did this with like Lenore, I believe, and this is his favorite movie, and it's Local Hero, and it's just beautifully shot. I do want to watch this on my 4K television. I don't think it'll ever get a 4K release. Um, just because I don't think it's as big as people, not a lot of people know of it, but it's freaking amazing. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's basically about this guy who goes to, I want to say Scotland. Yeah, Scottish. So he went to Scotland and on business, and he's there to like, I guess, to kind of take over the town with his business and stuff, and he kind of falls in love with it. And then you, as an audience member, kind of fall in love with it because it's so beautiful and so charming, and the people are so sweet, and kind of feels terrible after a while. And it's just really sweet movie. I liked it. Now this movie, I love this one too. My Man Godfrey, man, this movie, starring William Powell and Carol Lombard and Alice Brady and Gail Patrick. I mean, just amazing cast. It was directed by Gregory LaCava. It's basically about this like uh he was I don't know what you call him, but he was a bum, out there. He was a homeless man. And they're playing this terrible scavenger hunt game as rich people do. And they are treating this guy like he's the scum of the earth, and they bring him back to show him off, to show that they found this guy's like, forgot what he's called, like a missing gentleman or something. And they bring him back, and the girl kind of feels sorry for him and everything, and they need a new butler. So they ask him to be the butler, and he's basically has to deal with this crazy ass family. It is so cute. It's fun. It's charming. It's kind of twist at the end that I didn't see coming. I should have, because these are things that have already been done later, and whatnot, but it's so good. You should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. All right. Another movie that we're gonna do for Criterion Watch at some point. It is The Friends of Eddie Coyle. This was a crime drama, and the minute I started watching this movie, I was like, I bet Tarantino loves this movie. He loved this movie so much, he took a name from one of the characters and put it into one of his biggest movies, Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown is actually the name of one of the characters in this movie. And so he absolutely loved it. It's a crime thriller. It's got Robert Mitchum and Peter Boyle. I mean, Peter Yates directed it. I mean, it's so good. If you haven't seen it, it's just basically crime drama involving an aging Richard, Robert Mitchum, who is dealing with he's like a gangster. He's kind of dealing with these like double to triple crosses that keep happening and stuff. And he's trying to sort of put his life straight. But anytime you put your life straight, yeah, they rip you right back out. So it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's really well done. I enjoyed it. Next on my list, Breaker Morant. This is a war movie in Australia. It is, I think it's in Australia. Yeah, Australian. Um, who's the director of this? Was a really good director. Bruce Beresford. And it is just so well done. I really enjoyed every minute of this movie. It's one of those things that like Paul introduced me to it, and I just sort of fell in love with it while I was watching it. I'm not a really big war movie fan, but like there are a few like this, and he showed me a movie called Gallipoli that was a really awesome, a really good Australian war movie, and I mean that would be a great, in my opinion, a great like double header, double feature. There you go. But this is really well done, and it looks like it's got some really cool special features on it. So there you go. Breaker Morant. If you never heard of it, I think if you're definitely into war movies, you'll love this. If you're not into war movies, you probably would hate this movie. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm not into war movies, and I loved it. So there you go. Next is I have to do an Alfred Hitchcock movie, and I had to pick what Alfred Hitchcock movie of his that's in the Criterion collection. And if you know me, then you'll know what it is, because a lot of people know I talk about this movie all the time, and that is Rebecca. Um, Haunting, amazing. One of those other movies where the lead actors or lead characters fall in love really quickly and like get married like in a day. And I'm like, I don't, I guess if you're in, Vegas and stuff, what happens in Vegas. But, yeah, so, it's really well done. It's, gothic horror. It's basically about this couple who get married, and then the woman doesn't know what she's getting herself into, and the husband brings her back to this like mansion, you know, that she's living in, and there's a past to it. I don't really want to go into too much of it. The less you know, the better. But the past is pretty crazy. There was a remake of this. I haven't seen it. I kind of don't want to. Not that I think it will ruin this movie, but I just think it can't be nearly as good as this. This was so good. Highly recommend Rebecca. Now here's another movie where like the criminals are doing like one last job and then they're gonna get out, but they can't get out. It's not as easy to get out of. That's Thief by James Caan, Jimmy Caan. And it is I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. Michael Mann directed this, and Michael Mann he did Heat and a ton of other movies. But before he did Heat, he did this movie Thief. And he just kills it in this movie. Just and James Caan, I mean James Caan from what I've understood, he loved it, wanted to do it. It says it was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer and Ronnie Caan. So I'm guessing in the somebody in the Jimmy Caan family. But yeah, this is so good. I really enjoyed it. It's very well done. Totally recommend it. Basically a thief. He has to get back, but he can't, that story I just said. Okay. Mate One. This was something we did for Film Freaks. And then like right after we did it for Film Freaks, it became available on Criterion. So they're like watching us, or we're picking stuff that's, because also from the same director, John Sayles, we just did Lone Star for Film Freaks, and now that's getting a release on Criterion. So it's weird. We're trend setting for them. We're giving them ideas, I guess, for film freaks. We're like, why isn't this on Criterion? And then like literally a month later, we're like, oh shit, it's coming to Criterion. Which means that it was coming to Criterion a while ago. Like it's uh we're not actually doing, but it's cool. It's neat to see that like the movies that we suggest. Um Basically, this is historical drama. It's hard to explain. Basically, Chris Cooper, in his film debut, it says, when May 1 miners go on strike, organizer Joe Kenahan arrives to help them, uniting workers, white and black, Appalachian-born and immigrant, while urging patience in the fear of the coal company's violent provocations. It's got James Earl Jones, David Strathairn, Mary McDonnell, and Will Oldham. An Oscar-nominated cinematographer Haskell Wexler. So fantastically filmed. It does look beautiful. It is a very, 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 I don't know, like just really well done movie. If you haven't gotten the chance to watch it, check it out, buy it. I would buy it. Just buy it blind buy because it's really good. I got that in the store at Barnes& and Noble when the store had lots of stuff. Now the stores don't seem to have a lot of stuff, and wondering if that's going to change next year because if they're still seeing how many people are buying these movies and stuff, and they might want to start getting their collection bigger on it. I don't know. But they got a lot of manga, by the way. Manga, whatever you want to call it. Next is a movie I was not shocked. I actually thought I would like. It's a comedy and it's called I Want to Hold Your Hand. And it's about a bunch of fans of the Beatles who are trying to go to their show, and it was pre like Detroit Rock City, so I feel like Detroit Rock City was a little bit of a remake of this instead of it being girls, mostly girls. It was mostly guys, and in Detroit Rock City, and there was Kiss that they were going to go see, and not the Beatles. So it was a very similar movie in a way, but this movie, I swear to God, I just absolutely adored. It was it's just a fun movie done by the guys who did Back to the Future, so and produced by Steven Spielberg, and has one of the seriously the best behind the scenes interviews with Bob Gale, Bob Zemeckis, and Steven Spielberg, where they're just sitting around chatting about stuff and they're remembering things, and people are like, "Oh crap, that happened on that set? Oh my goodness!" It's really good. If you haven't seen this movie, I definitely highly recommend it. It's one of those movies that I would just suggest people just sit down and enjoy. If it's a like, a day where you just need a break and you need something to watch, this would definitely be something, even if you've seen it before, it's a movie that for me, I'm gonna watch over and over again. So I highly recommend I Want to Hold Your Hand. Here's a movie that Paul picked and showed with Joe Turk, and I did not get to see it with them for Criterion Watch. Once again, they were in Virginia, I was in LA, but I bought it sight had unseen because he picked it, and I want to have everything that has been on Criterion Watch. So, Lady Snowblood, and then I watched it, and I was like, "Holy crap, this movie was crazy!" And then I watched the Criterion Watch episode. So you should do that too. Buy this movie and then listen to our Criterion Watch episode on it. Their episode. It We do plan to do the next Lady Snowblood together with Joe at some point, so get ready for that. But it's not gonna be my episode because he picked these. I wanted him to do it. I think he wanted me to do it so he can have one less, one to have to pick. But whatever. Basically, Lady Snowblood is this freaking assassin chick, and she is badass. And some of the music was in Kill Bill. And so Quentin Tarantino loves this movie, and you can tell I think they even took some stuff from this movie, and everything. It's just so beautifully filmed. The fight scenes or whatever, the cinematography on that was just amazing, just really well done. Um, I liked it. It had a lot of blood. I mean, it's called Lady Snowblood, so you'd hope so. There was snow, I believe, too. Yeah. So there you go. Definitely check it out. I think it's got to be Japanese, and so it's a pretty well done movie. A movie that I haven't seen in a while, but I definitely want to recommend it because I did really like it when I first bought it and everything. This was like an early Criterion buy because I wanted to find stuff that I had never even heard of and see if it was good, And so I'd never heard of this, but I saw the cast and it was like, holy crap, it's got Robert Redford, Gene Hackman, and Camilla Sparv, and it is Downhill Racer. And it's a ski movie. But it's more than a ski movie. Basically great photography, like amazing cinematography in the movie. It was a directorial debut of Michael Ritchie. It's so interesting to know, like, when people have directorial debuts and they get like Robert Redford and Gene Hackman in your movie. I mean, that's a oh, if you never make another movie, you can always say I had, Robert Redford and Gene Hackman in my freaking movie. Sadly, Gene Hackman is no longer acting, and I haven't really seen Robert Redford act much anymore, so I don't think they're dead. I'm pretty sure neither of them are dead. I'm gonna check on that. I'm pretty sure they're not dead. They're still around. I was pretty sure Gene Hackman was just, yep, okay, he's good. And Robert Redford, I'm pretty darn sure too. I haven't heard anything, about him. Yep. So they're both fantastic. So, I would definitely recommend this movie. I think it was it says a ruthlessly ambitious skier competing for Olympic gold with an underdog American team in Europe. Gene Hackman provides tough support as a coach who tries to temper the upstart's narcissistic drive for glory. With a subtle screenplay by acclaimed novelist James Salter, is it Downhill Racer's a vivid character portrait buoyed by breathtakingly fast and furious imagery that brings the viewer directly into the mind of the competitor. Really, literally, most of the time, you're actually seeing it so that like you feel like you're actually racing with them, and I thought that was pretty cool. It's a really fun, it's a fun sort of drama that really gets to you. So I would highly recommend Downhill Racer if you've never heard of it or never seen it. I don't know if you can watch it somewhere, stream it somewhere, but I would definitely recommend buying it. Blind Buy. You'll at least you'll have it in your collection, and I think you'll enjoy that. Another one I'm so excited about. This is definitely going to Criterion Watch pretty damn soon. It is Failsafe. Ah, Failsafe. Failsafe is basically Doctor Strangelove, which from what I've understood, it was they came up with like basically the same premise by the same production company, and Stanley Kubrick wanted to go first and stuff. Main reason I don't have Doctor Strangelove in this collection of stuff is I don't actually have the Blu-ray for Doctor Strangelove. I have the 4K for it, but I might eventually buy the Blu-ray because it's got extra features that the 4K does not have. So anyway, um, Safe is Sidney Lumet, and it is fucking scary, like in a way of like what would happen in this situation when they had these fail safes that something could go wrong, and when it came to like the government and the army and all that stuff, like just, and Doctor Strangelove does it as a satire, so it's really funny and silly and, has moments, but this is like fucking scary the whole time. Henry Fonda is in it, and I think William Matthau is in it. It's got a fantastic cast and just well done movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a movie I want to watch over and over again. I'm gonna see it like 2 or 3 times this year. Like that's how good of a movie it is. It's really, really good. I definitely recommend it. And there's a audio commentary with the director, Sidney Lumet. 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 I don't know. I always say Lumet, and some people say Lumet. So I don't know. Uh, all right. So this is the last Blu-ray, and then I've got three 4Ks to recommend. And the 4Ks I think are big name movies, so I don't think they're, ones that people may not have heard of or thought about recommending. So just bear with me. All right, so next is for the last on the Blu-rays is Here Comes Mr. Jordan. This was I was telling you guys earlier, like Defending Your Life was kind of about the afterlife. This is sort of about like what if the afterlife they made a mistake and they pulled you before your time and then you were, cremated, so you can't go back into your body. So what happens, right? And so they send this guy back and they're trying to find him another body. And he doesn't want another body. He wants his old body, but he can't get it. And they have to kind of, talk to him about this. It's a crazy movie. Very well done, very well directed, very well produced. I just really enjoyed it. One of those movies that I could watch over and over again and probably not get sick of. All right. And starting on my 4Ks. So this is the one everybody knows. I'm gonna get this out of the way first. This is the one everybody knows. Everybody says it's like the best movie of all time. And of course, yeah, that's Citizen Kane. And yes, Citizen Kane is voted as one of the best movies of all time. Do I think it's one of the best movies? It's not one of my favorite movies of all time. Is it the best movie of all time? I'm not even sure. I don't know if I can classify that yet or anything. I don't think I've seen enough movies to say if it is. But if other people claim it is, maybe it's up there as one of the best movies of all time. I really enjoyed it. I think it's the first time I watched it, I was kind of bored by it. And I was younger, so I wasn't really into, the paper making scene. That wasn't when I rewatched it, I was like, that's not what this movie's about. This movie's about the tragic life of this guy. This is Citizen Kane. Kane Foster Kane. You know, um, it was his sad life, and we did it on Criterion Watch, for the first episode of this season, and it's just such a sad but sort of very fun, interesting, well directed, well produced, well written movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you haven't seen it because it's so big. It's one of the most famous movies of all time, but you should watch it. Okay. All right, two more. Whoop. Okay. Next is Wings of Desire. We did this like right after we did Citizen Kane. And this is the 4K, so I don't know why it doesn't say the thing on it, but it doesn't say it, but it's a director approved 4K. And Paul had the Blu-ray. This wasn't his number one choice. This wasn't a movie he was going to pick, but he picked it. And I was shocked. I really, really liked it. I thought, wow, this is really well done. This is like amazing. I don't know why. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know why I took me forever to see it. Sorry, it's late at night here. Um, but it's definitely about once again, I guess it goes to there must be some kind of like little theme here to this night because it's not about the afterlife, but it's about angels who are around Earth, just watching Earth, and stuff. I don't know really what they're doing. They're not really, I don't even think they're allowed to step in and actually help out. They're just, I guess they're just to make sure things go according to plan, kind of thing. Um, and then one of them falls in love, like the angel falls in love with somebody, and Peter Falk has a great little cameo as himself, and it's just a really well done movie. So watch this movie, then go watch our Criterion watch of it because I think honestly it's one of my favorite Criterion watches that we did because we were shocked. Because at first I thought I was gonna be bored to death by it. Like I thought it was gonna bore me. And then just maybe and I would suggest if you are like me where I have like ADHD and I get bored very easily, um give it like 15 minutes because like the beginning is a little slow. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little slow, but it's supposed to be slow because it's supposed to basically get you into the characters and get you into the universe that you're in there. After that, boom, it's so good. It's so good. Definitely check it out. And my last but not least, and I haven't seen this 4K yet, so I have no idea. And I haven't seen that 4K. But boom, another one I can't wait to watch on my 4K and everything is Raging Bull, Martin Scorsese's like classic film. I just absolutely love this movie. I have this and I have Last Temptation of Christ and I have After Hours, all Martin Scorsese. I'm gonna try to get any Martin Scorsese movies on Criterion. I think I might be missing one of them right now. I think there's like one that's I can't can't think of the title now, but I know it takes place. It's a period piece movie, Age of Innocence. I know that's on Blu-ray, but when that comes to 4K, maybe I'll buy it. If it does. Martin Scorsese's movies are amazing, and they definitely deserve a 4K treatment. So Criterion, if you can upgrade it, if you haven't already, I don't think you have. I'd love to have Age of Innocence on 4K. But aside from that, Raging Bull, basically the boxer, what's his name? Joey LaMotta, I think is his name. Jake LaMotta. I don't know. Joe Pesci, Joey. So I don't know. Jake LaMotta. And it's his life story, and sometimes tragic. And Robert De Niro really got into it, and uh, there was there's a time where Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro working together a lot on films, and it was sort of weighing on Robert De Niro because he was giving him hard roles, like things that are just especially as like I think he's more of a method actor, so he really gets into it. He really thinks he's Jake LaMotta when he's doing it, and everything. And I think it wears on him. And at one point, he had to stop working with Martin Scorsese. Not after this movie. I think he had done this, then Taxi Driver, then Cape Fear, maybe whatever. King of New York might have been the one or close to that one that he did before he was like, I gotta take a couple of years off from Scorsese. And then he came back and did like Goodfellas and all that other stuff. So I mean, he continues to work with them, but yeah, this is just amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, it's just a boxing movie. I'm not really into boxing, but once again, it's a movie just like the war movies. I'm not in the war movies, but this is like the creme de la creme of those kind of movies, of the boxing movies. It's a movie that it's more than just the boxing. It's not Rocky. Um, it's kind of sadder than Rocky, that kind of thing. So with that being said, that's it. Those are my recommendations. So if you haven't watched any of those movies, let me know, and or if you have seen some of those, let me know, or if you didn't watch them but you want to see some of those, also let me know. I had a blast with this. This was fun to just pick out 20 movies, and I don't have a ranking for them. Some of them are better than others, I'm sure. But they are all the movies I definitely recommend for you guys for next for the next sale. I can't wait because I've already got 3 Blu-rays. I've got a whole bunch. I've already written down like 15 movies, so that's the plan, is to get 15 of them. This I was originally just like, oh, I was gonna get like 10, and and then I started writing some more down, and I can't just do 10. I've got to do 15, I guess. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know what you guys think. Until then, bye.